The Park Cafe was a haven for the city's elite. Nestled between sculpted trees and the murmur of a nearby fountain, its patio shimmered with linen-draped tables and whispered conversations. It was midday, peak hour. Waiters in tailored uniforms glided between guests, balancing trays of artisan dishes and golden espresso. To most, it was paradise. To Malik, it was just another place that wouldn't let him inside. He lingered beyond the wrought iron fence, a shadow at the edge of luxury. His hoodie, faded and 2 sizes too big, clung to his skinny frame. His eyes flitted between tables, scanning plates, pockets, and possibilities. No one noticed him. No one ever did. At the center of the patio sat Bernard Green, the kind of man whose name got buildings named after it. At 72, he wore his wealth like armor. A tailored suit, gold-rimmed glasses, a watch worth more than most people's homes. He studied the menu with a frown, as if every word on it offended him. Across from him sat Marissa, his much younger wife. Impossibly poised, impeccably dressed, with hair that fell like silk and a face sculpted by effort and wealth. Her crimson lipstick glistened in the sun. She barely looked up from her phone. "You're distracted again," Bernard said, voice low but firm. "I'm right here," Marissa replied sweetly, finally looking up and reaching across the table. Her manicured hand brushed his. "You know how much I love our lunches." Malik's stomach growled. His eyes landed on their table. Soup, fresh bread, sparkling water. A feast by his standards. Then something shifted. Bernard adjusted his glasses. Marissa, smiling, reached into her designer handbag. Malik's eyes narrowed. She pulled out a tiny vial, twisted the cap, and in one smooth motion, tilted it over the soup. The contents vanished instantly into the steam. Malik's breath caught. She stirred the bowl slowly, deliberately, her face the picture of calm. Then she leaned in, her voice soft, but just loud enough. "After all the trouble I've gone through," she whispered, "you're not ruining this." Malik's froze. Did she really just? His heart pounded as he ducked lower, hidden behind the fence. The world around him kept moving, cutlery clinking, glasses clinking, but for him, everything had stopped. Bernard was distracted again, scrolling through his phone, spoon hovering over the bowl. Malik's fists clenched. His stomach screamed for food, but his gut screamed louder. Something was wrong. No one else saw, no one else cared. Just a kid in a ragged hoodie, unseen, unheard. He could walk away. Who would believe him anyway? But then Bernard raised the spoon. And Malik moved. He jumped the patio fence. His legs shook, but he walked with purpose, fast and direct. "Don't eat that!" he shouted. Everything stopped. The chatter died, heads turned, a fork dropped. Silence fell like a curtain. Bernard froze, spoon inches from his lips. His startled eyes locked onto the boy. Marissa's head snapped toward him. Her face went from porcelain to stone. "What did you just say?" she demanded, her voice sharp as glass. Malik swallowed hard. "She put something in your food. I saw her. Don't eat it." Gasps rippled through the cafe. Guests leaned forward, eyes wide. Bernard blinked, then looked at Marissa. His voice trembled. "Marissa?" She stood abruptly, her chair screeching against the floor. Her mask cracked. "You filthy little liar," she spat. "Who even let you in here?" But Malik didn't flinch. "Check the souk," he said, voice trembling but firm. "Please." And for the first time, Bernard didn't see a street kid. He saw the truth. "Truth, I saw her," Malik said, voice steady despite the thudding in his chest. "She poured something into your soup when you weren't looking. If you don't believe me, smell it." Bernard's face lost its color. He turned to Marissa, his eyes narrowing. "Marissa, what is this?" he asked, voice low but firm. She scoffed, waving a hand as if brushing off a gnat. "He's just trying to start trouble. Look at him. He probably wants food or a handout," she snapped, venom dripping from her tone. Her gaze flicked to Malik, sharp and full of disdain. But the boy didn't flinch. He stepped closer, fists clenched, determination sharpening every word. "I'm not lying," he said, louder now. "She didn't want you to see, but I saw everything." Bernard's hand hovered over the bowl. He looked down at it, the steam rising like a silent warning. Doubt flickered across his face, uncertainty creeping into the carefully ordered world he'd built. The cafe around them, once humming with elegance, had gone completely still. All eyes were now on them. Bernard leaned back slightly, eyes narrowing as he examined Malik, not with dismissal, but measured judgment. He had dealt with scammers, liars, and leeches his whole life. But this was different. This boy's stare didn't waver. "Malik, is it?" Bernard asked, tone cautious. The boy nodded. "Yes, I'm telling the truth. Please, don't eat it." Marissa let out a brittle laugh, folding her arms across her chest. "This is absurd," she hissed. "He's a nobody. Are you really entertaining this nonsense, Bernard?" But Bernard didn't respond to her. He lifted the spoon slowly, bringing it close to his face, not to eat, but to inspect. His hand trembled slightly, not from weakness, but from the pressure of a storm quietly building inside him. "Marissa," he said, locking eyes with her. "You heard him, so tell me, what's going on?" Her smile collapsed. Her lips drew into a tight line, then quivered. "I can't believe you're even asking me that," she said, indignant. "It's insulting." She turned to the murmuring crowd, raising her voice. "He's lying. Look at him. He probably doesn't even know who you are." But her voice cracked under the weight of the whispers now swirling across the cafe. "Did you see the way she looked at the bowl? She's shaking. That boy doesn't look like he's making it up." The crowd's murmurs fed the tension. Marissa slammed her hands on the table, her carefully curated composure shattering. "Enough!" she snarled. "Eat your damn soup, Bernard, and let's go." Malik took another step forward, voice rising with urgency. "If you don't believe me, then test it. You're rich. Get a doctor, a lawyer, someone to check it. But don't eat it. Please. If you do, you'll regret it." Bernard's jaw clenched. His gaze drifted back to the bowl, then back to Marissa. "You've been acting strange for weeks," he said. "Withdrawals from accounts, secret calls, this." "I don't know what you're talking about," she snapped, her voice faltering. "You can't seriously think I'd poison." "Me?" Bernard finished, sharply. The cafe gasped. Gasps and whispers colliding in a rising wave of disbelief. Malik stood frozen, his heart hammering in his chest, but his eyes never left Bernard. He'd done everything he could. Now it was Bernard's move. Marissa straightened. Her eyes, once soft and calculated, now turned cold and glassy. "This is ridiculous. I won't have to sit here and listen to this garbage," she spat, grabbing her handbag. But before she could turn away, Bernard's hand snapped forward, gripping her wrist. His voice was iron. "You're not going anywhere," he said. "Not until we figure out exactly what's in this bowl." A waiter, who had stood paralyzed in the background, finally moved forward, face pale. "Shall I call someone, sir?" he asked. Bernard nodded slowly, still staring at his wife. "Yes, get security, and then get the police." "Sir, should I call the police?" The question sliced through the silence like a blade. A ripple of unease spread across the cafe. For the first time, Marissa looked genuinely panicked. Marissa, shaking her head, frantic. "Don't you dare! This is just a misunderstanding!" Bernard, raising a hand, silencing her. "Yes." To the waiter, calm but firm. "Call them." Malik felt a flicker of relief, but it was fleeting. The truth wasn't out yet. The danger hadn't passed. The waiter rushed inside. Bernard slowly released Marissa's wrist, his eyes never leaving hers. The charm she always wore like armor was cracking, giving way to something desperate. She glanced around, lips moving silently as if searching for a way out. Malik stood a few steps away, hands trembling. He'd done what he could. But what if it wasn't enough? What if Bernard didn't believe him? What if she twisted the story? Bernard, suddenly. Malik, you said you saw her put something in the soup. Can you describe it? Malik, nodding, stepping forward. It was a small bottle, like the kind you'd use for medicine. Clear liquid. She poured it in when you looked at your phone, then stirred it. I swear I saw it. Bernard's jaw tightened. He turned to Marissa. She was already shaking her head. Marissa, he's lying. Why would I? Bernard, cutting her off. Why would he lie, Marissa? What does he possibly have to gain? The cafe murmured again, the tension mounting. Sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder. Marissa's eyes flicked to the soup. For a split second, her mask slipped. She looked truly cornered. Then, like a switch flipping, she spun toward Malik. Marissa, snarling. You've been spying on us, haven't you? Trying to cause trouble because you're jealous. Jealous of people who actually have something. The words stung like a slap. But Malik didn't flinch. Steady. I'm not jealous. I just saw what I saw. And I couldn't let you hurt him. The sirens reached the cafe doors. 2 police officers entered, their presence shrinking the room. Officer 1. What's going on here? Bernard, rising to meet them. Officers, I believe my wife tried to poison me. This boy saw it happen. The soup. The officers exchanged unreadable glances. One leaned down and cautiously sniffed the bowl. Officer 2. To Marissa. Ma'am, do you have anything to say? Marissa, furious, defensive. This is absurd. He's just a street kid trying to start trouble. Bernard, are you really going to let this go this far? Officer 1. We'll need to test the contents. He reached for the bowl. Marissa, suddenly yelling. No! The room tensed again. All eyes locked on her. Even the officers paused. Officer 2, sharply. Ma'am, is there something you'd like to tell us? Marissa trembled. Her chest rise and fell rapidly. She looked at Bernard, then the officers. Marissa, spitting the words. Fine, you want the truth? I'm tired of living in his shadow, tired of him controlling everything. He wasn't supposed to make it past this year, and She stopped. Too late. The cafe erupted in gasps. Phones came out. Someone hit record. Bernard paled. Her words struck like a blow. Officer 1, stepping forward. Ma'am, you're under arrest for attempted murder. Hands where I can see them. Marissa shrieked, thrashing as they cuffed her. Marissa, screaming. You don't understand. I deserved everything he had. Her voice echoed through the stunned cafe as she was escorted out.
Bernard sank slowly into his chair. His hand trembled as he pushed the bowl away. Silence followed, thick and suffocating. His eyes finally found Malik. The boy stood frozen, unsure whether to stay or flee. But Bernard's gaze softened. The bitterness drained away, replaced with something unexpected. Gratitude. Bernard. Malik? He gestured to the seat across from him. Malik hesitated, then obeyed. He sat stiffly, unsure of what came next. Bernard. You saved my life today. I don't know how I can ever repay you. Malik. I didn't do it for anything. I just couldn't let her hurt you. Bernard nodded, eyes distant, as if replaying it all. Bernard. Most people would have looked the other way, pretended they didn't see. But you didn't. That took courage. Malik. Quietly. I just don't like seeing people get hurt, that's all. Bernard studied him, really saw him for the first time. Not a scrappy street kid, but someone who'd carried more weight than most adults. Bernard. How long have you been out here? Malik hesitated, then looked down. A while. Bernard didn't press. Instead, he pulled out his phone and stepped aside to make a call. Malik's heart pounded. Was he calling the cops again? Someone to get rid of him? When Bernard returned, his expression was calm, gentle even. Bernard. Help is on the way. Malik. Help? Bernard. Nodding. Someone I trust. They'll make sure you've got a place to sleep tonight. Somewhere safe. And if you'll let me, I want to do more than that. Malik. You don't have to do that. I didn't do it for money or anything. Bernard. I know. That's why I want to help. If more people were like you, Malik, the world would be a far better place. For the first time in a long time, Malik felt something he hadn't allowed himself to feel. Hope. The cafe began to return to life, voices rising again in low murmurs. But something had shifted. Bernard lifted his glass and took a sip. Bernard. Thoughtfully. Sometimes, life gives us the chance to change someone else's story. You changed mine today, Malik. Maybe, just maybe, I can help change yours. Malik looked up, eyes glistening. Two unlikely souls, an old man and a boy from the streets, connected by a moment of truth. And as the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the cafe, one lesson lingered in the hearts of everyone who had witnessed it. Courage doesn't always wear a suit. Kindness doesn't always come from wealth. And sometimes the overlooked are the ones who hold the greatest strength of all. If this story moved you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us for more tales of courage, truth, and redemption. And remember, even small actions can change lives.